Comparing yourself to others is one of the most destructive habits you can develop, yet it's one that many of us fall into unknowingly. It's easy to see someone else's success and feel like we're falling short, that we're not measuring up. This habit can creep into your life subtly, and before you know it, you begin to base your own worth on the accomplishments of others. However, this is a dangerous path to take, and it can strip you of your inner peace and self-confidence. When we compare ourselves to others, we start looking at their achievements, their possessions, or their perceived happiness, and begin to judge our own lives in relation to theirs. At first, it may seem harmless. After all, we're just trying to measure our own progress, right? But over time, this mindset begins to erode our sense of self-worth. We start to believe that because someone else is more successful or has more, we are somehow lesser. The result is often an overwhelming feeling of inadequacy and self-doubt. The truth is, no one else's success can ever diminish yours. Success is not a finite resource. It doesn't work like a pie where if someone else takes a slice, there's less left for you. Success is abundant and limitless. There's always room for you to thrive. When you compare your life to someone else's, you forget this simple fact. You focus on what you lack rather than celebrating your own progress and growth. Your journey is unique, and it deserves to be measured by your own standards, not by the accomplishments of others. In addition, when you spend too much time comparing yourself to others, you begin to lose sight of your own values, strengths, and goals. You may start to change your behavior or decisions based on what you think will make you more like someone else, but this often leads you away from your true self. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of trying to live up to someone else's version of success. But remember, that version of success is theirs, not yours. You are not meant to live someone else's life. And your path may look very different. And that's okay. It's more than okay. It's necessary. Your unique qualities and experiences are what will shape your own success, not the success you see in others. Furthermore, comparing yourself to others can be emotionally draining. It creates a cycle of negative thinking where you constantly measure your achievements against someone else's, which leaves you feeling unworthy and unaccomplished. It can even lead to feelings of jealousy, resentment, and frustration. The more you compare, the more you reinforce these negative emotions, and before long, they become a part of your daily mindset. This creates a toxic environment for your mind, making it harder to move forward and progress in your own life. You become trapped in a mindset of lack, focusing on what you don't have, rather than being grateful for what you do have. The constant comparison also takes away your ability to fully enjoy the present moment. Instead of being happy with where you are in life, you're too focused on where others are. This constant shifting of focus towards others robs you of your peace of mind and keeps you in a state of perpetual dissatisfaction. When you are always looking outside yourself, you lose the ability to appreciate the unique journey you are on. The best way to combat this cycle of comparison is by changing your perspective. Begin by acknowledging that everyone's path is different. No one's journey looks exactly the same, and that's okay. Just because someone else has achieved something before you doesn't mean you're behind. It simply means they are on a different timeline. Your success will come when it's meant to come, and it will look different than anyone else's. By embracing this mindset, you can start to focus on your own growth without the need to compare yourself to others. And instead of measuring your progress by someone else's standards, focus on your own. Reflect on where you started, how far you've come, and the lessons you've learned along the way. Celebrate your own accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. It's important to recognize and appreciate your own achievements because they are what matter most. Only you can define what success looks like for you, and it doesn't need to be compared to anyone else's. In the end, comparing yourself to others will only rob you of your peace, your confidence, and your ability to enjoy the success that is uniquely yours. When you stop comparing, you open the door to personal growth, inner peace, and an unstoppable sense of confidence. You begin to trust in your own journey and know that at the end of the day, your success is yours to define. Your value is not determined by someone else's success or by what others have achieved. Too often, we fall into the trap of measuring our worth based on comparisons with others. whether it's their job, their wealth, their relationships, or their accomplishments. However, this external measure of value is an illusion. Your true value comes from within, and it's shaped by your character, your actions, and the unique journey you're on. The concept that your worth is tied to the success of others can be a heavy burden to carry. We look at someone else's achievements and feel like we are somehow less because we haven't yet reached that level. But this mindset is flawed. Your value as a person doesn't increase or decrease based on what others accomplish. The idea that success is a limited resource, a pie that can only be shared among a few, only leads to feelings of inadequacy. This is an unhealthy cycle that holds you back from realizing your true potential. When you stop measuring your worth by external standards, you begin to appreciate what makes you unique. The essence of who you are is not determined by how much money you make, the job title you hold, or the house you live in. These things can contribute to your life, but they do not define you. Your true worth comes from your character, your integrity, your values, and your ability to contribute to the world in a way that only you can. The person you are is enough, and you have inherent value simply because you exist. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is to internalize the belief that your worth is unconditional. It is not tied to your bank account or your accomplishments. It is not dependent on the praise you receive from others or the recognition you get for what you've done. Your value is inherent in the fact that you are a human being with the capacity to grow, learn, and make an impact. The success of others does not diminish yours. In fact, it can serve as a source of inspiration for your own journey. This is why it's so important to stop looking outside yourself for validation. When you constantly look to others for approval or comparison, you are handing over your sense of worth to someone else. You begin to live for others rather than for yourself. You start to lose sight of what makes you happy, what brings you fulfillment, and what truly matters in your life. But when you learn to recognize and appreciate your own unique qualities, you gain the confidence to live on your own terms. Your worth is also not defined by how others perceive you. In fact, people's perceptions of you often have little to do with the real you. We live in a world where people are quick to judge, label, and categorize others based on limited information. But these judgments are not accurate reflections of who you are. What someone else thinks about you is not a measure of your worth. What matters is how you see yourself, how you treat others, and the positive impact you make on the world around you. The opinions of others can never define your intrinsic value. It's also important to remember that your worth is not tied to the outcome of your efforts. We often think that if we're not seeing immediate results, we are not valuable or capable. But this is a limited view. Growth, success, and value are long-term processes. They are not always reflected in short-term achievements or setbacks. Even if you don't see immediate rewards for your efforts, you are still learning, growing, and developing the skills and mindset you need to succeed in the future. Your worth is a constant, not something that fluctuates based on your current circumstances or achievements. In fact, your greatest worth may lie in the process, the persistence, the effort, the dedication. Every time you keep going, even when the results are not immediate, you are adding value to your life. You are building resilience, grit, and wisdom that will serve you in the future. This process of growth is just as valuable as the external success you may eventually achieve. In the long run, the lessons learned during challenging times often become the foundation of your greatest strengths. These lessons are invaluable, and they add to your overall worth as a person. In your life, it is essential to remember that your value is never tied to someone else's standard. It doesn't matter how many followers someone else has, how much money they make, or how successful they appear to be. Your worth is not a reflection of their achievements. It is a reflection of your character, your actions, and the positive difference you are making in your own life and the lives of those around you. When you embrace this truth, you free yourself from the trap of comparison, and you can begin to live a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and aligned with your true potential. Everyone's journey in life is unique, and it's crucial to recognize that your path is yours and yours alone. Too often we get caught up in comparing our progress to the achievements of others, and this creates an unhealthy mindset that leads to frustration and self-doubt. We tend to forget that each person is on their own journey, shaped by their own experiences, challenges, and opportunities. Your path is different from anyone else's, and that's what makes it special. It's important to embrace your unique journey, even when it seems to diverge from the paths of others. When you look at the success of others and feel like you should be where they are, you are ignoring the fact that your journey may take a different course. Everyone has a different starting point, a different set of circumstances, and different factors that influence their progress. Just because someone else has achieved something before you doesn't mean you're behind. It simply means that their timeline is different from yours. You cannot rush your journey to match someone else's. You must allow yourself to move at your own pace. This understanding becomes even more important when you encounter setbacks. We all experience challenges in life, times when things don't go as planned or when we hit a roadblock that seems impossible to overcome. In these moments, it's easy to look around and see others moving forward while you feel stuck. But remember, setbacks are a part of every journey. They don't mean you're failing. They mean you're learning, growing, and adapting. Everyone faces obstacles, and just because someone else seems to be gliding through life without difficulty doesn't mean they haven't faced their own challenges. Their journey may look smooth from the outside, but there's always more beneath the surface. Moreover, your journey is defined by your own goals, values, and dreams. It's tempting to compare what you're doing to what others are doing, but the truth is, your success is not about mimicking someone else's achievements. It's about understanding what success means to you and working toward it on your terms. Your goals may be different from those around you, and that's perfectly okay. It's important to define what success looks like in your life and then commit to pursuing it without being distracted by the paths others are taking. Each step you take on your journey, whether big or small, is a step toward becoming the person you're meant to be. It's easy to get caught up in what others have accomplished, but those comparisons can often overshadow your own progress. Instead of focusing on how far ahead someone else is, look at how far you've come. Reflect on the growth you've experienced, the lessons you've learned, and the hurdles you've overcome. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Celebrate that progress and understand that you are exactly where you need to be in your journey. And it's also important to understand that everyone's journey is shaped by their own timeline. Some people may achieve their dreams at a young age, while others may not find success until later in life. Success does not have a set deadline. It doesn't matter when you achieve your goals. What matters is that you are committed to achieving them. Your timeline is your own, and it doesn't need to align with anyone else's. You have the freedom to go at your own pace, to take breaks when necessary, and to celebrate each milestone along the way. The beauty of embracing your unique path is that it allows you to focus on what truly matters to you. You stop measuring your progress by the standards of others and start focusing on your own growth. You begin to appreciate the uniqueness of your journey, knowing that it is leading you exactly where you need to go. As you continue to move forward, you will encounter new opportunities, meet new people, and learn more about yourself along the way. Your journey will evolve, and that evolution will shape your success in ways that are meaningful and fulfilling to you. When you embrace your unique journey, you stop wasting energy on unnecessary comparisons, and you start investing that energy into your own growth and development. This shift in focus allows you to become more confident in your decisions, more dedicated to your goals, and more at peace with where you are in your life. You are no longer distracted by what others are doing because you understand that your journey is yours alone, and it is exactly what it should be. Embrace the path you're on and trust that every twist and turn is helping you become the person you are meant to be. Taking full responsibility for your life is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It means accepting that, regardless of the circumstances or challenges you face, the ultimate power to change your life lies within you. This is not to say that life's circumstances are always easy or fair. We all experience setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles that can make it difficult to stay motivated. However, taking responsibility means refusing to let these external factors dictate how you feel, how you act, and what you believe is possible for your future. When you take responsibility for your life, you begin to understand that you have control over your thoughts, actions, and reactions. You stop blaming others for your circumstances, and instead you look inward to find solutions. This shift in mindset is incredibly freeing because it removes the need to play the victim. Instead of feeling helpless or defeated by the challenges in front of you, you take ownership of the situation, and that ownership gives you the power to make decisions that can move you forward. One of the first steps in taking responsibility is letting go of the habit of blaming others. We often find it easy to blame our circumstances, our upbringing, our job, our environment, our friends, for where we are in life. While it's true that external factors can influence our path, blaming them keeps us stuck. It keeps us from taking action because we're waiting for something outside ourselves to change. But when you accept that your current situation is the result of your own choices, you realize that you have the power to make different choices going forward. This is where true personal growth begins. Taking responsibility also means acknowledging that your future is in your hands. Your dreams, goals, and aspirations are all within reach, but they require action, discipline, and perseverance. There are no shortcuts, and no one is going to hand you success on a silver platter. It's up to you to show up every day, do the work, and keep pushing forward, even when the going gets tough. By taking responsibility for your actions, you commit to doing the work that is necessary to achieve your goals. You don't wait for someone to motivate you, and you don't make excuses for why things aren't working. Instead, you take proactive steps, even when faced with challenges. Taking responsibility also means owning your mistakes. It's natural to want to blame others or external circumstances when things don't go as planned, but true growth comes from looking at your mistakes and learning from them. When you take responsibility, you stop seeing failure as something to avoid and start viewing it as an opportunity for growth. Mistakes are not the end of the road. They are the stepping stones that lead you to greater success. Each failure teaches you something valuable that you can use to make better decisions in the future. In addition, taking responsibility for your life means being honest with yourself about where you are and where you want to go. You can't move forward if you're not clear about your goals, your values, and your purpose. When you take responsibility, you commit to understanding yourself at a deeper level and making choices that align with your true desires. You stop making decisions based on what others think or expect from you and start making choices based on what will bring you fulfillment and happiness. This is where you gain clarity on your path and become intentional about the direction of your life. Another powerful aspect of taking responsibility is realizing that your success is not dependent on anyone else. It's easy to think that our success depends on factors like the economy, our family support, or the opportunities available to us. While these things can influence our journey, they do not define our ability to succeed. When you take full responsibility, you stop waiting for external circumstances to change, and instead you take charge of your own destiny. You create your own opportunities, you take risks, and you make the necessary sacrifices to achieve your goals. This self-reliance is one of the key ingredients to unstoppable confidence because it helps you realize that you are the creator of your own future. Ultimately, taking responsibility for your life is about recognizing that you are the author of your own story. You are not defined by your past or by the things that have happened to you. You have the power to choose your response to life's challenges, and those choices will shape your future. When you embrace this mindset, you become unstoppable. You stop giving your power away to others, and instead you use that power to shape the life you want. Taking full responsibility is the foundation of a life of purpose, confidence, and fulfillment. It allows you to build the future you want, one choice at a time. In conclusion, to stop comparing yourself to others and build unstoppable confidence, it is essential to recognize that your value is not determined by the success of others, but by your own journey, character, and growth. Embrace your unique path and understand that each step you take, regardless of its size, is part of your progress. Focus on taking full responsibility for your life and actions, for this is where true empowerment lies. By letting go of comparisons, embracing your individuality, and owning your choices, you free yourself from external limitations and unlock your true potential. With this mindset, you create a foundation of confidence that is unshakable, and no external circumstance or comparison can ever take that away from you. The key to success lies within you. Own it, trust it, and move forward with unwavering belief in your own journey.